Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World episode 203. I'm your host John Jordan. Don't forget to check out my daily email about blockchain gaming. You can find that at gamestx.substack.com. In today's episode, I'm talking to Maxwell Holmes, who's one of the co-founders at Hytopia. I spoke to the other co-founder, ArcDev, about 2 years ago, so good to catch up with the project. We obviously discuss where they started out, bringing blockchain to Minecraft, probably got banned by Microsoft, and now a few years later they've ended up with something which, to my mind at least, is a bit more like Roblox with blockchain. So we discuss a bit about the difference between those various platforms and where Hytopia fits into that. Also good timing because the HYBUX token, which is their underlying token, has just gone live on the base blockchain as well. So we talk about how they're trying to build out a user-generated platform, how it compares to things like Roblox, and how they are looking to build that out and why blockchain is important to that. So I hope you enjoy the episode. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out, and on with the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to the show. Very pleased I've got Maxwell from Hytopia. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me. Also known as Temp Tranquil, as a lot of people will know me.
Yes. We had ArcDev a couple of years ago. I'm trying to think actually when it was. This sort of, you say time flies, but yeah. So between the pair of you, we will have had both co-founders. So it's good to
yeah, absolutely.
So obviously a lot has happened.
Oh man,
Hytopia since then. I mean, it's sort of hard to know where to start. I mean, I guess from a very top level, you know, as a sort of co-founder and someone, you know, sort of running the company, how do you just find it from a personal level? Because it's from the outside looking in to a lot of blockchain projects, it just seems like it's either like super highs, wow, it's amazing. Yeah. You know, you've had really successful NFT sales, you've done really successful sort of node sales, and you know, you're one of the sort of projects that sort of just kept building. That's sort of, I guess, what you're best known for, really, just keep building. But equally, other times, as we go into, it's sort of, I imagine, quite soul destroying as well. So.
I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's not for nothing, right? Like, we really just love being that team that always has something in the pipeline and always has a plan B. I think we're kind of known for that. We've built a reputation for being that way. But yeah, I mean, personally, like, I like when the house is on fire, you know, like, I like operating when, you know, everything's going awry and tomorrow is unknown. You know, it keeps it interesting, especially in an operations role. Like, I'm a creative person. You know, I'm not like I wasn't like super academic, but I love running businesses. I love building teams. I love, you know, building products, and especially seeing when users get their hands on them for the first time. And so, like, the monotony is not for me. I need the craziness. And I think it fits really well with kind of what we've been doing. And it's worked in our, our benefit. So yeah, it's been fine. But yeah, like you said, it's been a really long history. We pivoted multiple times. You know, often people don't like pivots because they say I invested in a certain vision and now you're here. But, you know, our response to that is always like, well, we would have been gone. You know, we wouldn't be here today if we hadn't done these pivots. So, you know, it's kind of it's a hard thing to kind of tell our community we're going in a different direction one more time. But it's what we want to. But the people that believe in us were like, thank you so much. We're going to do you proud at some point. You know, we could have taken the money and ran a long time ago, but we're using every cent to make sure this thing is market viable. And so, yeah, that's just kind of our thing. That's just how we are, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I do think you know, there probably are a few others, but you're sort of definitely one that sort of sticks in the mind as having really sort of dealt with, you know, what for other companies, whether they were blockchain or not, would have been sort of company ending sort of decisions from other vendors. And and I guess the interesting thing is that while at the moment lots of sort of blockchain games are clearly sort of struggling and running out of sort of funding, and I guess more important than that, sort of finding it quite hard to take their community with them as they sometimes make these quite radical decisions. Which is maybe much more than like we're just changing blockchains. I mean, everyone's done that a few times, but there can be there can be some sort of sensible decisions that the sort of the people in the company feel they have to take to sort of get this to the sort of next level, and just see communities find it very difficult to do that. You know, why do you think your community, from the outside looking in, I wouldn't say I'm sort of part of your community, but how do you think you've managed to sort of take them with you for this sort of journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I think people see that we've been extremely consistent. Like we have the same values through all the different pivots. Like one of those is we don't do the hype game. We don't do like heavy KOL. We don't do heavy marketing. We don't do pump and dump type strategies. Like we don't try to sell vaporware. We're always like, hey guys, the product's not ready. Sorry, we have nothing for you. You know, and that for some people that pisses them off, but for other people they're like, wow, that's honorable to say things are taking long. You know, software development takes a long time. Instead of being like, what can we throw at them to keep them happy this month? And then it ends up being like this pile of junk that they've been building up over time, but there's no product at the end, right? We're the opposite. We don't have those short kind of hypey milestones, but then there actually is a product at the end. So I think some people that can't take that have left, obviously, and the people that can take that are still with us, and in fact, they're with us even more so. And we owe it to our community to, you know, be funded by that. So we also want to, you know, not give back is the wrong word, but we want to do them proud. We want to be honorable and live up to our promises. Those promises are like making sure our NFTs have the right utility and our token is sustainable and successful. But the thing about it is sometimes downtime is part of that. So you have to be like, I get it, there's downtime, but like it's all leading to this greater vision. So yeah, I mean, whether you believe in us or not, like it's kind of your call, but the people that do really do, it seems. So we're really, really proud of that, and we love our community.
And I guess you have always had this sort of, you know, your reputation is always as a sort of quite a, I mean, in a nice way. I think I'm saying this, but quite a sort of scrappy company. I mean, so you're very focused on product. I think you've been very, I don't know what your headcount is, but it always seems like very small. But as you say, you're not really into marketing. I mean, not like you don't do marketing, but you know, you basically seem to have a lot of people like building stuff, and that's always been sort of something that sort of stood out. That, you know, obviously it may be successful, maybe not successful. It may be successful but not successful. Sort of everyone who wants their 10x, but you clearly are working on stuff. Sort of, and you have been doing that for now. Whatever we are, sort of 5 years, are we? Getting on for 5 years.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah, we I mean, we'll spend marketing funds when that marketing funds brings users to the platform, right? Like we don't market to get investors, we market to get users, right? So it's kind of like slightly different that way. But yeah.
And you've pretty much on the investment side, you've pretty much been. I don't think you've done any sort of big sort of VC sort of rounds or anything like that. Have you? It seems like your funding seems a bit more sort of organic. I don't know if that's true.
We did do one safe round to kind of like.
Okay.
You know, well, two things, like weather the bear market of like 2022, and the other one was, was it 2023? It's all a blur, like you were saying.
Yeah.
One of those 2 years, just to kind of keep us afloat while things were kind of unsure. And then, everything else has been just organic funding through like royalties on secondary sales, our node sale, our, you know, Grey Boys avatars, like different NFT mints that we've used to kind of, you know, position, you know, allow entry at different points into our ecosystem. Because there was one time where like the worlds were selling for like, I don't know, like 50 grand a pop, which is like prices everyone out, right? So the other NFTs we launched were like, you want entry into like our ecosystem for a tenth of the cost, right? Like that was the logic in releasing these projects. So we have done a lot of like little different mints to kind of like, you know, give different entry points and expand our community. So yeah, so like all that, I'd say for the most part, definitely organically funded. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I guess as I often do, I've sort of gone a little bit into the sort of the weeds, and I guess we should sort of say for people who don't know anything about sort of Hytopia and what you're up to is I guess one of the things that a default thing that you have been able to keep your community with you is there's always been sort of a high level view, and that's obviously because you came out of sort of Minecraft, and your idea was we're gonna. You know, it's not quite this, but you were going to sort of bring blockchain to Minecraft. That was sort of your first sort of thing. That was the sort of first wave. And you said when you're selling your lands and everything, and obviously you're not doing that now. But obviously you're not that far away from that. It's just that you've had to basically build your own platform. I mean, that's So the broad vision is still sort of the same, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we're trying to like use crypto to like empower gamers. You know, we didn't start NFT Worlds. Hytopia used to be called NFT Worlds for the viewers that don't know. But yeah, we didn't start NFT Worlds to gamify it. You know, like that, we fell into it. We like built these plots of land and then slowly started to be like, well, the plots of land were using an open source Minecraft algorithm. So how can we attach this to Minecraft? How can we tie it into Minecraft? And then that like kind of just slowly gamified it. People really loved the vision. Then we were like, okay, well, we have to build a product. We can't just be like, yeah, this is related to Minecraft. There has to be a problem that's being solved, right, for it to be a successful product. So that problem being solved was like the Minecraft ecosystem is extremely disconnected. It's hard to monetize. It's incredibly difficult to mod Java Minecraft, which I think even Microsoft now is realizing with like releasing the source code of Minecraft Java with all the like normal variable names and stuff. They're like saying, okay, we get it. You want to mod it. Here's the real stuff. Took them long enough. Wish that had happened like while we were in play, but where am I going with this? Yeah, we fell into gamification and we're still in the same boat. Like the only reason that we have our own platform now is because Minecraft banned us, but we would have done these same things on Minecraft and it could have been a beautiful partnership with Microsoft. We could have been there kind of like dabbling in crypto, but I think it wasn't the right time. Gamers are still like crypto adverse. So yeah, everything happens for a reason, I suppose. But we're happy where we are now. Like we would take this over everything we've done in the past. We feel super good. The roadmap is clear. It's the first time we've gotten full clarity on what we're building. And it's just really nice to be kind of unrestricted.
And we've spoken a lot about sort of Minecraft because that was originally sort of how you hit the news cycle. As, you were trying to build like a sort of crypto layer around Minecraft, and then Microsoft sort of. I mean, they banned crypto in Minecraft. That was, I guess, mainly you. Probably other people were trying to do.
Definitely targeting us.
Other people were trying to do stuff as well. I think Engine were trying to do something as well. But anyway, so that was sort of where you sort of really came into sort of my sort of or everyone in the space where sort of plucky little upstarts get banned by Microsoft. That's a sort of great story, even though for your business, bit of a shock. But it seems again sort of looking now sort of where you are, and we'll get into sort of what's going on is. And this maybe how the sort of game industry has changed. That it seems to me, I don't know whether you agree or not. That's the question. Roblox has become a much bigger sort of thing, and obviously Minecraft is still absolutely massive. So it's sort of a weird comparison to make, but Roblox has become a bit more of a sort of a memeified sort of thing. And it seems like that Hytopia has sort of ended up a bit more on the sort of Roblox side. So is that just because that's where the sort of industry sort of momentum has gone? Or is that just me sort of getting the wrong end of the stick?
I mean, it's half and half. Like, I think the reason, like one of the big things we wanted to solve on the Minecraft side when we were at Minecraft involved was making modding easier. Okay. So like in Java, there's like everything you do to improve the Minecraft experience, like create custom content on a server and things like that, is basically a workaround. It's like a hack. It's an exploit. So you're like replacing existing in-game assets with other assets and to load them in, like really weird, janky workarounds to do this stuff. So we thought like if we had our own Minecraft client, we could have a, this modding API that allows people to kind of extend on what is possible in Minecraft. So we already had that like focusing on kind of like user-generated content stuff in mind. And Roblox is like Hytopia there's no base gameplay. Minecraft has base gameplay. Roblox doesn't. So it's more like it's a heavier focus on like the social aspect of gaming, like, very mini game focused, like replayable, viral, like you said, with a lot of pop culture and memes, references. And so we wanted to get that on that side of things. And that's what made us a better comparison to Roblox and Minecraft. However, our blocky style is unique because when you limit the amount of polygons in a 3D model, it does a few things. It increases performance on low-end devices. It makes 3D model creation a lot faster, and it allows game developers to iterate quicker on their game designs because they're not spending so much time creating assets. And it also taps into an existing network of 3D models that are used for Minecraft. So it's kind of like a match made in heaven to kind of create this like blocky universe that resembles Minecraft, has the familiarity for those players, but then it has all the like modern, social, highly viral perks of Roblox, and that's kind of where Hytopia meets between the two of them. So, yeah.
And I guess as you say, sort of, it is interesting that the market always moves. The gaming market always moves towards giving sort of less skilled people better tools. I mean, obviously with Gen AI, we can see that in spades, but it's all the momentum is in having platforms to have allowed this sort of user generated content to happen, and obviously sort of the explosion of Roblox has been around to what my kids play, and they sort of show me what they're playing. I'm just like, that's a game,
What's
but
going
obviously
on?
it's not so much the gameplay. It's all their friends are in there together, and they're obviously very good at doing these sort of events and stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like you actually fit really nicely into that sort of the way that people are very simply making games and sort of consuming games and with their friends and hopefully as someone who sort of likes the idea of blockchain changing things up, that will add another sort of certain layer into the mix. So, but I guess to some degree you are competing with Roblox for people's time, which is a bit of a monster to be competing with.
Totally, yeah. And look, gaming is different now from when we were, younger. Like I remember, we'd wait in line for a game to be released, and like I remember playing like Warcraft 3. Like every game we saw was very polished because it had to come from an established game studio, right? Or it was like insignificant. Well, now Roblox is the exact opposite. It's about like what's the funniest, what's like the newest, hottest thing. Like the games are often broken and buggy, but that adds to the comedy of it. It's like it's a social like thing, right? It's heavily social. So yeah, getting used to that is really interesting, and we've learned a lot. I'm 32, but the style of games I play is so different to like the platform we're building. So it's a really interesting experience there. But it makes sense if you really take some time to understand why they're playing those games and all the other social aspects and stuff. It does make sense, but it's a shock at first, like you're saying. It's like it looks truly like chaos when you first join a Roblox game and you see like what the kids are playing, and they know that the UI is intuitive, even though it looks absolutely horrible to us. So yeah. Yeah, that's the future. Like they say, like I don't know who they is, but people have said, someone has said that the user is the most knowledgeable about like the product they want to have, right? They might not know how to execute on it, but they really know, like if you get a group of Roblox players in a room and you brainstorm a game, they're going to be like, yeah, it's a great idea. They're going to be super enthusiastic about it because they have the experience playing the games. Now, how can you give them the power to actually create them? I think that's why these UGC platforms are so successful, because they're like being made by the user. So like they're a perfect fit to the people that are actually going to be playing them. So that's what's really nice about UGC.
And do you feel you've got to the stage now where you have sort of a decent number of people who are creating, just within your sort of platform in Hytopia, or is there sort of competition on the creator side where they're sort of obviously Roblox has a bigger audience, so they might sort of make the same thing or for both platforms, or because sort of to a degree having creators is you need players as well, but there's sort of to a bit synonymous. But creators is sort of what you want to attract.
Yeah,
I imagine.
I think attracting creators is like our top priority right now. Okay. Like we've seen that. Well, here, like the thing is in gaming, like if the game is fun, people will play it. It's pretty easy to grow a user base in gaming. You just have to make sure you have a fun game. Like we've done a bunch of like test marketing strategies where we've done like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts and like partnered content, streamers, all this stuff. And then we run like Google ads that show like just our gameplay content, and those have way outperformed all that other stuff. Which is crazy because, way outperformed, like less than a cent, like cost, per click kind of thing, like insane. And I think it's because like if a user says like, that's a cool game, like the youth is used to like just downloading it and trying it. Where me, I'm like ad, scam kind of thing. Like they're a lot more open-minded on it. So like, I think getting content creators into the platform is like a bigger and more important focus for us right now, because if we had an array of fun games, our player numbers would just follow that. Now we are seeing really, really nice growth right now. But yes, so it all comes back to like, why would someone use our platform versus Roblox? I think because they're very similar. And I think the people that are going to use our platform are more, well, at least in our current stage, more people that want to try something new and have a new opportunity to build, or their first opportunity to build a game. Like one thing that's unique about our platform is we use Typescript JavaScript as the coding language, which is the most well-known language in the world. So it's people that want to build games for the first time, but they might not know a game engine like Unity or Unreal, or even Roblox has some complexities to it that if you were a general developer, you might not be comfortable with in the gaming space. Our platform will feel a lot more like intuitive. And we're also like forward thinking on AI. Like we're not an AI product, but we're like AI proofing ourselves for the future for when that time comes. You know, so we have model context protocol, AI tools built into the SDK for people that want to use those to like do anything other from, you know, just enhance productivity all the way to like vibe code a game. So yeah, our initial developers are kind of like community members that believe in the project. Now we have a second wave of people that are like, wow, this is a really cool platform. I'm tired of Roblox. I want to, you know, try something new. And then I think the next step will be like, Roblox is oversaturated. We're an established game studio. We want to move to your platform because it's actually more more monetarily makes more sense too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I guess you should point out, not mentioned so far, that you're like browser based, so you're very sort of accessible from that point of view. It is people just sort of, you know, you do from any ad they just click and they're in. So it's not any of that, you know.
Totally, yeah. Like our app is basically the website like wrapped into an app. So when we do a website update, it updates across platform. It's reactive like a website, you know, mobile reactive. So you're basically all the user interfaces in our game are built using web languages like HTML, CSS. So you design it like it's a website where it adapts to mobile and different platforms. And then in the app, that's exactly how it operates. So it's all web-based.
Mm-hmm. From my sort of limited knowledge and experience of these things, clearly I would say the most important thing. I mean, obviously something has to start it off, but social is clearly the way in which, you know, something like Roblox has gone. And we won't talk too much about the sandbox, but to some degree, one of the problems with the sandbox is it's not really persistent. So they have a massive sort of concurrency problem. I think that they do that. So what's your thinking around that? Because you know, you want it to be accessible, so you don't want it, you want people to sort of rock in, but equally the social thing does require some sort of, you know, friends list and that, you know, is important. But the more you do, the less accessible you then sort of make it. So where does that sit?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I haven't played a ton of Sandbox, so I can't speak exactly on their user experience as a whole. But like the high level points are people weren't ready for a metaverse. The technology like isn't there. I think people's idea of a metaverse is a lot more like you're spending a lot more time in it. It's VR. It's like you're more immersed. A metaverse isn't like World of Warcraft isn't a metaverse, right? Even though we were using that buzzword, like an MMO, an online game, is not technically a metaverse, right? Like to me, metaverse is more like you're spending a large amount of your like waking hours in this world where you have a second life, kind of. And I don't think the Sandbox got there. So they were using this metaverse buzzword. Gamers don't want a metaverse. And so who's the audience? Like, who are you targeting to play the Sandbox? I think that was like one of their first problems. Number two, like anytime your product is catered toward Web3, you're going to fail. Like, no offense to Web3 companies, but like there's not that many Web3 gamers. And you're trying to get 1% of like your gaming audience. And if that 1% is tiny, it is 1% of 100, which is tiny, you're not going to get that many users. And then I think there's probably some fundamental issues too. Like they're putting too much money in like these crazy content creation experiences and partnerships and like big brands and things like that. But the games aren't fun. So it's like a car that has like really, really nice paint, but no tires, you know, like it's not going to drive, you know? So we're really like a back to basics company. Like fun is number one. Like the crypto stuff's cool. Like get the token in the marketplace, power the ecosystem, that kind of stuff. Super, super cool. But like if the games aren't fun, you will fail. And that's the problem every Web3 company is having right now. And we've felt this way since, 2022. And quite recently, this kind of theme has surfaced where everyone's, all the Web3 companies are in the Twitter chat or what's it called? Twitter Spaces, and saying, oh yeah, it's gotta be fun. It's like, whoa, is this the buzzword of the month? Is this not just common sense the whole time? So, I think those are the main things. Those like kind of metaverse experiences can't fix, and they've gone too far down the rabbit hole where they have this entire game platform that just can't conform to that like what makes Roblox fun, and then you just get on this huge payroll burn and you just slowly dwindle out. So
Hytopia, you never called that a metaverse at all. You just sort of
We definitely used the metaverse buzzword in the early NFT Worlds days because that's what people wanted to hear. But then we quickly realized that like they don't really want a metaverse because people weren't spending time in game. People weren't doing like NFT trading in game. They didn't really want that in-game functionality. There was this dream that there was this whole digital world that has a billion people in it and it's powered by the token you like. Just doesn't exist yet, you know.
So I mean, you brought it up there that you sort of have to be sort of fun focused, and sort of, but equally you are a Web3 company. You're now currently running on base, having gone through a few different sort of iterations.
Yeah.
Got through a few different iterations on your token as well. We won't go into all that sort of past history, but you got HYBUX now. So what is the point of sort of blockchain for this project if you're sort of trying to be much more on the accessible side and you don't think people would sort of want to trade NFTs in game?
Yeah, that's a totally great question. And I think that's like our biggest controversy. Like we want a balance, and even our VCs sometimes push back on us a little bit about like our view of Web3. Like the product should not be only financial. Like you shouldn't be playing because there's a financial incentive to do it. You need to use blockchain in a way where it enhances the user experience. So if you're ever in a position where it's taking away from the user experience, there's no reason to use it, So how do we use blockchain? There's a few different ways. So number one, it powers our like in-game economy. I think there is like a really big importance in gamers having like ownership, or not necessarily ownership, but value in the time spent on a certain platform. I think a user base is worth money to investors, and it should be worth money to them too. I mean, money is the wrong word, but value of some sort, value. Right? So we want to have our token on base power our in-game economy, where when players, play a lot of a certain game, they achieve things, they spend money in game, it's all tracked in the token. And then when they decide they want to take the token out of the ecosystem, maybe they've made a bunch because they've got some rare items, they can off-ramp it, right? That's the ownership we're talking about, right? Not necessarily like this sword is an NFT that you can go sell on OpenSea. That's not as important as the high level, which is you're getting something out of your time spent, right? And then another thing is investor and user relationship. So like on Hytopia, we have this entire Web3 audience of people that are super enthusiastic. They believe in the product, but they're not users. So how do they fit in the ecosystem when they're never going to go in game, play games, and buy in-game cosmetics? The way they fit is we use them as this kind of like, board of like directors or landlords or, investors is the right term for the platform. And they can be, involved in growing the ecosystem. Like one thing we have planned is what's called a creator endorsement system we have. So it's basically like creators can take their token and bet on games, fund the actual games on the platform. And as the games come up and hit certain KPIs, they'll get a return on that funding. So they kind of become the, like the drivers of the ecosystem without actually being a customer of the product. So we want to keep the Web3 space and the investor space in that kind of financial bubble without negatively affecting the users. And there can still be a tie there. It's just not like, hey kid, buy this crypto token. That's not the tie. The tie is, hey, talented developer, try crypto out. We'll fund your server and you're going to see how easy it is to use it. Soft onboarding kind of thing.
Yeah. So for the crypto people who of the degen sort of sentiment, they can it's a bit like a content launchpad. They can sort of if they think this game's going to be amazing, they obviously fund it and market it and that sort of stuff.
Content launchpad's a great way to say it. Yeah, exactly.
And
the last point is like, if you look around, the reality is not everything is on chain. Even like the most on chain companies, there's certain things that are centralized. So we need to decide where we put things on chain and where we make things, where we force the crypto a little bit, because it's all about user experience, right? So,
yeah. And just to give some, I was just having a quick look. Sort of numbers wise, just read these out. You can tell me if they're right. So you're looking like DAUs, looking at like 19,000-ish, I think has been this week, and for weeklies you're up to about 100,000.
That sounds right.
Which obviously they're not interacting with blockchain, but just as a platform, that's obviously those are not Roblox figures, but they're certainly something in Web3. Those are pretty reasonable figures. So I mean,
we have some really strong growth. Yeah. I mean, thank you. Yeah, we got some really strong growth. I mean, I think it's a lot of people that are like coming, joining the platform, seeing its potential, and then maybe just there's not enough games for them or something. So we just need to like upgrade our platform to do better on like notifying those users to check back in and things like that. And we'll start bringing that concurrent user number up and up and up. So yeah, there's been really good traction, really good adoption. We're definitely seeing steady growth. And the best part about it is, that growth is 100% organic because there's no financial incentive on our platform. There's no play to earn. There's nothing like that. And the marketplace is only live in like its beta test really. So there's not even movement of real funds yet. So these are people coming to play the games. That's it. And so these are really good, valuable numbers. I guarantee you, if we slapped some sort of play to earn element that was based on playtime or something, those numbers would 10x, 50x maybe. But then the data's junk because you're talking about like armies of people farming playtime and you can't get real user data. So this is a really good way to start to kick off the platform, find where the bottlenecks are, the blockers, why certain low-end devices aren't working. Because if there's a dollar an hour figure on it, like someone in a third world country is going to play your horribly optimized experience at 1 frame per second for that dollar, and that's bad data. So it's a really good place to start.
Yeah, so you definitely sort of see yourself in the sort of. Obviously you say you mean goes it's sort of 2021, so it's not like the early days, but in terms of sort of, you build the you have to get the platform has to be the platform has to have platform functionality before it can work. So you're sort of in the early sort of stages of that, and it's sort of all to come, I suppose. From that point.
Yeah, exactly. We're still pretty early, and the growth we're seeing at our early stage is really, really promising. We'll roll the crypto stuff in really soon here. Our HYBUX token launches the 14th of this month, so 7 days from now. Yeah, and that will be it'll be go time. We'll be live on Base. We'll take the marketplace live shortly after that, where people can actually transact in HYBUX, send in USDC, convert it to HYBUX, use it in the ecosystem, buy, sell items, secondary royalties to creators. We're not taking any funds from creators initially. We're doing an 85-15 split. So 85 goes to the creator, 15% gets actually sent back into the staking pool for our NFTs. So there's a revenue share. So all our NFT holders will follow us as we grow via marketplace rev share. And just everything's just kind of getting set up for the future. And then it'll be a set it and forget it situation where we just maintain the platform, creators make the content, we grow, and everyone's happy.
Just on the token side, did you at any point just think, just sort of go with stablecoins? Because obviously, every token has its own sort of gone. But with Topia, you had a sort of you had a difficult time because for various reasons, but mainly you sort of did the same thing every other token did, which is sort of launch at a certain price and then just go down for the obvious reasons.
Yeah. So here's one of the biggest things not talked about in Web3 right now, and I think this is one of the biggest problems in Web3 that no one talks about, especially for gaming. If you're a 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 12-year-old, how do you get crypto into a wallet to spend in game? Are you going to enter your social security number? You don't even know it. Are you going to enter your parents? They're going to go, what? You're not entering my social security number on a game? Huge, horrible friction right now. It's a really, really big problem in Web3, and it's something we're actively exploring to solve, and we think someone needs to solve. But there's, money laundering laws, and, if a stolen credit card could buy stablecoin, then they're getting cash out of a stolen credit card. It's a really big problem. It's a really big point of friction right now. So how we use the crypto token, stablecoin or our own, is a really, really big thing. And we've explored stablecoin for the reason where Web2 users, if they were on-ramping into stablecoin, they wouldn't know why the values are going up and down. They wouldn't understand the volatility on HYBUX. So they need a stable coin for it to stay the same. So the solution we've landed on, and I think it's potentially temporary until those kind of other KYC stuff and credit card processing is solved, is a dual marketplace system where the user can choose to use crypto or to use regular fiat, and those kind of work in parallel. But they never cross over, right? Because if they cross over, then you're converting cash to crypto. We become an exchange, yada, yada. So they're there in parallel, but there's incentives to use HYBUX. The incentives are you get a discount on items when you purchase them if in the HYBUX. You are rewarded HYBUX for in-game action. So if a creator wants to pay out its players, they can't do it in cash. They have to do it in the crypto token. All our creators are paid in crypto too. So they have to get exposure to crypto if they want to get paid. Even if that's swapping to USDC and going and selling. It all flows into HYBUX. So when a player purchases a $10 sword in game with regular cash, what happens is 85% of that $10, $8.50 goes to the creator, $1.50 gets bought like a buyback on HYBUX by us as a C corporation. And then that puts pressure on the token indirectly, even though the user is using regular cash. So we have to use that indirect approach until a user can comfortably, a young user, especially because gamers are young, can comfortably on-ramp into crypto, and that's not solved yet. So that's the elephant in the room, you know?
And in terms of clearly one of the problems for most sort of crypto in general, but certainly gaming crypto is if you go to centralized exchanges, then you just have all this sort of speculative pressure on it, which is sort of one of the key issues, I think. So are you just sort of being quite light on that sort of aspect of how
it's friction, right? And when people are playing for fun first, they don't want, like, sometimes a lot of the time, they don't want the financial aspect at all. They don't care. So they're not going to go make an account on an exchange and all this stuff, right? And you know, people listening now and people I've talked to, my VCs and stuff, will say, oh, I know a solution. This guy does this so-and-so payment processing strategy. None of them do it. They all kind of have a different kind of subtle workaround, but it's not a true workaround. In the end, there's a minimum purchase, there's a KYC requirement, there's a restriction in the country, or the person is underage and they can't sell crypto to them. There's some sort of barrier. Oh, and the biggest one, you can't use a credit card in a lot of countries. In the US, most banks block crypto purchases, which is 85% of in-game purchases in video games is a credit card. So you're saying we can only process a debit card. That's knocking out 85% of your potential payment methods. It's just too big of a friction place. So we have to find ways around it. Yep.
But I guess from your point of view, that's sort of because you're not sort of selling to anyone a sort of an over financialized crypto product. That is less of a priority for you at the moment. You're quite happy for people just to, you know, if 99% of your in-game revenue is coming from fiat, then you just go, well, that's the way it is. As long as that
why does
big
the
enough.
user have to be the one that puts the pressure on the token? We can, as a company, we can take the revenue in regular cash from them and buy back the token. That's fine. It's pressure nonetheless, whether it comes from a 13-year-old or it comes from a large C corp that's just mixing it into the ecosystem. I think that's the safer and currently only option. So
Good. Well, thank you very much, Maxwell, for your time. It's been a really, I mean, we've probably rushed through lots of this stuff for these projects now that have been around for a long time. You sort of feel like there's some interesting detail, but we'll be here for hours otherwise.
Yeah, no worries. There's a lot to it. So I think we covered some really good stuff.
Cool. And it's always good to sort of have the timing around new stuff happening. So stuff going live next week, that's always good as well. And, if people want to find out more, where should they be going? To just be diving into games, I suppose, should they?
Yeah, Hytopia.com. Go there, play a game in under like 3 seconds. You can just hit play game and it launches in your browser. It'll work in any kind of size. There's an app on the phone, iOS, Android. Those downloads are, I think, breaking over 200,000 downloads now. The average rating's over 4 stars. So people really, really like the platform. Join our Discord, discord.gg/Hytopia GG, I think, or Hytopia. Well, you can find it somewhere on the Hytopia stuff. Yeah. But yeah, we're all around Twitter at Hytopia. So yeah, come check us out.
Cool. Good. So thanks to Maxwell for his time. Thanks to you guys for watching, listening, however you are consuming the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Every episode we're talking to people who are sort of still believing in blockchain gaming, still believing there's something magical. We believe. We still believe. So don't miss out. Do subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Cool. Thanks, John.
Oh, my things not working.